Breaking news, Raiders fans. Today I'm breaking down 8 huge storylines that could decide the season. First, Raiders vs Bears isn't just another game, it could shape both teams' futures. And watch out, because Caleb Williams has a hidden skill that might be the biggest threat the Raiders face. If he escapes the pocket, things could get ugly fast. On the other side, Geno Smith's biggest test comes down to one thing: can his offensive line protect him? But don't forget Ashton Jeanty, his performance alone might decide win or loss. And here's the kicker: whichever team forces the other off script will own this game. Injuries could also flip everything. The Bears' health might hand the Raiders a secret chance. At the end of the day, this is more than just Week 4. For the Raiders, it's a survival test. Win, and they stay alive. Lose, and it's the same old story. Before we dive deeper into the matchups and strategies, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest NFL breakdowns. Trust me, we've got plenty more coming your way this season. Now here's the real hook: the Raiders might be facing a must-win scenario in Week 4. Sure, technically no game this early is do or die, but for Vegas, slipping to 1-3 could be the start of another downward spiral. And the Bears? They smell opportunity. So what happens when desperation meets a team on the rise? Stick around, because the answer could define both teams' seasons. The Chicago Bears offense has become one of the most fascinating storylines in the NFL this season, and at the center of it all is rookie quarterback Caleb Williams paired with offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. This duo has sparked excitement in Chicago, but the real question is whether they can balance style with structure. Ben Johnson's scheme is built on precision. It's a timing-based system where every drop back, every step, and every throw is designed to match perfectly. Quick 3-step drops, clean hitches, and rhythm throws. It's about putting the quarterback in control and keeping defenses on their heels. When executed correctly, it looks effortless. But then there's Caleb Williams, the playmaker who thrives in chaos. His natural instinct is to extend plays, roll outside the pocket, and create highlight reel moments that few quarterbacks in the league can match. These hero ball plays can turn games around in an instant, but when that becomes the entire offense, it's unsustainable. That's why the Bears' success depends on finding the right balance. The ideal formula? Williams spends most of the game, 80-90%, executing the structure of Johnson's system, keeping drives alive and defenses guessing. Then, when the play breaks down, that's when his improvisation becomes the difference maker. It's not about eliminating the chaos, it's about using it as a weapon at the right time. And here's the hook: if Williams can master this balance, the Bears' offense won't just be good, it could be unstoppable. But if they lean too heavily on off-script plays, defenses will catch up fast. So the question becomes, can the Raiders' defense disrupt this balance? Stick around, that's exactly where we're headed next. If the Bears' offensive key is balance, then the Raiders' defensive mission is simple: break that balance. The game plan against Caleb Williams starts with one core idea: keep him in the pocket. Williams is at his most dangerous when he's on the move, rolling out, extending plays, and turning broken situations into touchdowns. That's where the highlight reels come from. But if the Raiders can collapse the pocket and fence him in, suddenly his comfort zone shrinks. He's forced to operate within the design structure, and that's where Las Vegas believes they can find an edge. It's not just about pressure, it's about timing. Ben Johnson's offense thrives on precision, and the Raiders know if they can disrupt Caleb's footwork, even by a half second, the entire rhythm of the play can collapse. Defensive tackles will be tasked with pushing the middle of the pocket, while edge rushers must avoid letting Williams escape to the outside. The goal isn't just sacks, it's controlled chaos that makes him second guess. And here's where it gets interesting: Caleb's creativity is a weapon, but it also comes with risk. When forced to stay in structure, he has shown moments of hesitation, and under heavy pressure, he will occasionally put the ball in harm's way. That's exactly what the Raiders are banking on, turning those wow plays into costly mistakes. So the chess match is clear: can the Raiders cage Caleb long enough to force errors, or will his off-script brilliance still find a way to shine through? Here's the hook: even if the defense executes perfectly, it may not matter if the Raiders' injury situation on offense continues to hold them back. And that's exactly what we'll dive into next. When we shift focus to the Raiders' offense, all eyes land on Geno Smith, and the difference between his best and worst performances is night and day. Against the Chargers, Geno was over-aggressive. He tried to force throws downfield, trusting his arm too much, and the result was costly: 3 interceptions that swung the momentum completely out of Las Vegas' hands. It was a reminder that sometimes belief in your arm can be as dangerous as it is valuable. But then came the Commanders' game, and Geno showed a different side. He was far more disciplined, protecting the ball and taking what the defense gave him. The problem? He still didn't have enough time to make it work. Washington's defense sacked him 5 times, and even when he escaped, the offense fell into off-schedule chaos. Yes, there were flashes, some late-game completions to Jakobi, Meyers and Dante Thornton, but it was far from enough to mount a serious comeback. The truth is simple: this Raiders offense rises and falls with the offensive line. When the pocket collapses, Geno's eyes drop, and instead of scanning downfield, he's searching for an escape route. That hesitation takes weapons like Ashton, Jeanty and the wideouts out of rhythm, stalling drives before they even begin. So the formula is clear: keep Geno clean, establish balance, and let him find a rhythm. Without that, Las Vegas risks another frustrating performance where potential is wasted by protection issues. And here's the hook: the Bears' defense has its own injuries and inconsistencies. Can Chicago's pass rush actually take advantage, or will Geno finally find the space to thrive? That's the battle we're breaking down next. If there's one player who quietly holds the key to the Raiders' season, it's Ashton Jeanty. For all the talk about Geno Smith and the passing game, the reality is simple: without a productive run game, this offense doesn't stand a chance. Jeanty has shown flashes. Last week, he chipped in 63 yards, solid production on paper, but not the kind of game-changing impact Las Vegas needs. The Raiders don't just want 4 yards here and 5 yards there, they need him to control the pace, keep the offense balanced, and prevent Geno from being asked to do everything himself. The formula is clear: when the Raiders are able to run the ball effectively, they can dictate tempo. Drives get longer, the offensive line settles in, and Geno Smith can work off play action instead of facing constant third and longs. But when the run game stalls, the offense becomes one-dimensional, and that's when the sacks, turnovers, and frustrations pile up. For Jeanty, this isn't about breaking 70-yard touchdowns. It's about consistency, forcing Chicago's defense to respect the run, keeping linebackers honest, and setting up opportunities downfield. If he's getting touches deep into the second half, that likely means the Raiders are playing on their terms. If he disappears after halftime, it probably means they're chasing the game again. And here's the hook: because while the Raiders are desperate to establish their ground attack, the Bears' explosive offense has the firepower to erase the run game entirely by building an early lead. That's where this chess match gets fascinating, and that's exactly what we'll explore next. When you boil it all down, this game isn't just about talent, it's about execution. Both teams have a clear blueprint, but which side can actually stick to it under pressure? For the Raiders, the formula starts with running the ball. If Ashton Jeanty establishes himself early, the entire offense flows better. That run success ties directly to protecting Geno Smith, because a balanced attack means fewer obvious passing downs where he's sitting in a collapsing pocket. On defense, the mission is no secret: make Caleb Williams uncomfortable. Collapsing the pocket, taking away his rollouts, and creating turnovers are the only ways to slow down a quarterback who thrives on chaos. On the other side, the Bears' plan is all about pace. They want to start fast, building an early lead that forces Las Vegas to abandon the run. If they can make Geno Smith throw 35+ times behind a shaky offensive line, Chicago's pass rushers will eventually find their mark. The Bears also know turnovers are their golden ticket. Whether it's a strip sack or an interception off a hurried throw, every extra possession for Caleb Williams increases their odds of breaking the game open. So the chessboard is set: the Raiders must control tempo, while the Bears want to force a shootout. One side thrives when the game slows down, the other when it speeds up. And here's the hook: this isn't just about Week 3 football. The winner grabs momentum, confidence, and a foothold in the playoff race. The loser? They're suddenly staring at a season that could spiral fast. When it comes to this matchup, talent and schemes matter, but injuries might decide everything. The Bears come into this game with multiple starters listed as questionable, and that uncertainty changes the entire outlook. At full strength, Chicago has the edge. Their offensive line can give Caleb Williams just enough time to let Ben Johnson's system work, and their defense has the speed to keep Geno Smith in check. A healthy Bears roster likely means they can start fast, control momentum, and eventually overwhelm Las Vegas with depth and playmaking. But if those key names don't suit up, suddenly the door swings open for the Raiders. A weakened offensive line could give Maxx Crosby and company a chance to dominate the trenches. A thinned-out defense could allow Ashton, Jeanty and the Raiders' run game to finally find rhythm. Injuries don't just change matchups, they shift confidence, and in the NFL, confidence often decides games as much as raw ability. That's why all eyes will be on the Bears' final injury report. A probable turning into a game-time scratch could be the difference between Caleb Williams dictating the game or Geno Smith getting the extra possessions he needs to pull off an upset. And here's the hook, this game won't just be about who shows up on the field, but who's missing from it. Because in a league where the margins are razor thin, even one or two injuries could flip this from a Bears showcase into a Raiders opportunity. This isn't just another game on the schedule, for the Raiders, it's a must-win showdown. Sitting on the edge of a dangerous 1-3 start, Las Vegas knows the margin for error has already evaporated. A loss here would set them back in a tough AFC race, while a win keeps playoff hopes alive and buys Geno Smith and Antonio Pierce some breathing room. On the other sideline, the Bears have a very different vibe. With Caleb Williams settling into Ben Johnson's system, Chicago feels like a team on the rise. But that trajectory only continues if they're healthy. If key starters return and play at full strength, the Bears can lean on their balanced offense and aggressive defense to seize momentum early. That's what makes this matchup so fascinating. The outcome isn't just about talent, it's about who executes under pressure. The Raiders must protect Geno, run the football with Ashton, Jeanty, and pressure Caleb Williams into mistakes. The Bears, meanwhile, need to force the Raiders off script, expose their shaky offensive line, and let Williams deliver those special out-of-structure plays that turn games upside down. In short, the stakes couldn't be higher. For the Raiders, this is about survival. For the Bears, it's about proving they're truly trending upward in the NFC. And for both teams, the difference between a September setback and a momentum-building win could come down to injuries, offensive line performance, and who blinks first defensively. And here's the hook, this isn't just Week 4 football, it's a turning point. One team steadies the ship and climbs, the other slips into a hole that may be too deep to escape.